Hi, and good morning to everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome to our 12th day. It blows my mind that we are 12 days into our Regenera Travel Summit online. And today we have a very special guest because he is part of the team behind all of this online work, and he is going to share with us all about how AI technology is shaping the future of travel. So we're going to bring on screen with us Mr. Bhupendra Singh, and he is one of the
Yeah, hi everyone.
co-founders and CTO at Velout and Belú Travel. Welcome, Bhupendra. What country are you visiting? Are you in right now?
Thank you so much. Right now I'm in Germany, yeah?
Oh, look at that. So we are Honduras and Germany right now. The power of technology to connect countries and persons. So Bhupendra, we're going to do our work a little different today. So we have the privilege of interviewing you and share a little bit about who you are, how you got involved in technology, and how that connected you to travel. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much giving me opportunity to talk about myself. Yeah. So I myself doing I think almost like 12 to 15 years in the technology. So I did my bachelor's in the computer science and in India, and then I moved to Germany. So it's almost 12 years here in Germany, and I finished my master's and then the PhD in the computer vision and the machine learning. So actually nowadays, like the AI is very much common, but when I started in 2014, yeah, so in the 14 then it was like not that popular. So the idea is like it was like more about research and all these things, and then
And there
it's
was a
like
lot of stereotypes too, a lot of fear of
exactly.
Terminator and the revolution of the machine revolution. Because I remember people being concerned and even having students, well, what about if the AI, what if that happens? Like the whole
Yeah.
Terminator conspiracy behind AI. What was that like for you working in a field where there were the two kinds of prejudices, the excitement of technology, but yet still a little bit of fear
Exactly.
about
Yeah. It's like
what can
that.
that do to
Even
us.
we have sometimes that kind of like in our mind also. So like it's like growing so fast. So even the guys who is developing, even they like think that okay, do we have control or not? So it's always like that. So what happening like if you I from my experience around I think maybe 8 or 9 or 2010 like forgot about the LLM. The biggest challenge was even the machines are not able to define it's a cat and dog. So
Mm.
if in a data set, if you clearly classify that it's a cat or dog, then it's called like kind of achievement, yeah. So
Oh
yeah,
my
it
God.
was like too tough to like maybe 8 or 9 somewhere in that time. So you can't like even it's a complicated data set, then you can't clearly define that it's a cat or dog in computer
Mm.
vision. And you see like
I
15 years now they are like amazing, yeah, they can do anything almost like we do as a humans, especially the common sense part is set apart, but other thing is like rationally they can
The
do
natural language programming has really evolved. And I mean, I
exactly.
remember when translators were something that they could not distinguish a Y that would be and in Spanish or an
Exactly.
A that would mean something else. And now the real time translations and the level of context that
Exactly.
translators bring to date is really impressive in terms of what existed before. So I've seen a lot of evolution in
Exactly.
the natural language programming cycles in how you the programmers speak to the computers and
Exactly.
how that dialogue has really also I think is contributing even to language acquisition and language learning because I think a lot of little programs are coming out of that evolution. How
Exactly.
did it connect to travel for you? How did you connect your passion and technology and travel? Where did those two intersect?
Definitely. So right now, like in last 2.5 years, we are more in that direction of the travel industry. So you saw like after COVID, so so there was like a total disruption, and after that the scenarios is changing quite faster. So the one thing is like when I see like clearly in the travel industry, so I like mostly I think two things. One thing is like, in my personal belief, everybody should travel because travel will increase your perspective of the life. You see different culture, you see different perspectives of the life. And the other way around, when people are more traveling, then it's also creating a kind of guilt in the travelers that we are destroying the societies, we are destroying the nature, we are doing that, some kind of thing. So the my point is like how we can figure it out a common ground, yeah, where still we as a human travel to increase our perspective of the life and have a better understanding of the life, to see different culture. And meanwhile also we can use this technological part to maintain it, so that there shouldn't be a guilt that okay, we are destroying the nature, we are destroying the resources, or like kind of you see nowadays like overcrowded tourism at one particular city, but even the people of the local communities are not like handling that properly. So some kind of there's always a challenges in the travel industry, and I believe like from the technological point of view we can solve most of them, yeah. So that's
How?
my understanding, yeah.
Okay, so that's my how. So how does technology intersect with travel industry issues? So are we talking about reservations? Are we talking about exploring virtually the city before we get there? Are we talking about getting involved in um projects or the kind of experiences that Belú Travel and some of the other creators of experiences have expressed to us? When you say that technology can address some of these travel issues, can you list two or three specific issues that you have encountered and that you are addressing currently?
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing is like, so I see this technological part in the two separate, maybe two or three separate ways. So the one is we call it LLM, as you said, like language processing. So
Mm-hmm.
to understand the data better, and definitely it's a miracle, because previously, if you think about like we have to search a keyword in
Yes.
English, and that keyword has to be matched as a string in the databases. But now that time is gone, yeah. So now you can search anything in that region or something you want to looking at. So that means this LLM part, the language processing, is quite faster and is quite efficient to address the problems. The other section of this is the computer vision. So the computer vision where I work and did my PhD, so that is like how you understand the language. In the computer vision, you understand the pictures in a perfect manner.
Ah,
Yeah. So you understand
okay.
from the pictures. So you see, I believe in the next coming 10 years will be more research and more advanced in the computer vision section, where the machines are so powerful by seeing a picture. Nowadays, even you see that we can create a video of anything, something, but still we need a little bit more here so that they can have that understanding of from the picture, a clear understanding from a picture. So that time will come definitely in coming years, and that is also a new era where we can do a lot more things. So when you see a
Wow.
picture, then the machine can understand better what's happening there, and that will completely change the travel industry, yeah. So that is the second part, is the computer
I
vision.
agree.
Yeah,
If that is possible, I mean, to be able to visualize an image of a place where I am visiting, that I can be aware what I need to carry, what I need to, how I need to prepare myself, as opposed to just arriving as an ignorant traveler. I guess this way technology can bridge the gap between my personal ignorance of a place where I
exactly,
am going, and how can I, because we've had presenters who have talked to us about changing the questions we ask when we travel, that we
exactly,
should ask, how am I going to contribute? How that if I self reflect and I look at what is my purpose, how am I going, what am I going to do? What you're describing by bringing these places into images or creating that visual learning landscape, I can say, it
exactly,
would definitely improve the quality of we how we travel or what we would like to do. I think I can definitely visualize that. As an educator, I do believe in visual learning. I have
exactly,
found that in my research and the things that I have done, with my students, I have seen that for some reason, as we were adults, you know, technology allowed us to create content really tiny fonts that were size 10 or fonts that were to compact a large amount of quantity on a singular page. And
Exactly.
we thought that as adults, we read that and we find that that's the adult reading scheme that we grew up with. But I found in my classes, um, when I became a mom, and this goes back a little bit of context. When I became a mom, I was reading about babies, how babies respond to information. So if you think of babies like computers and programming, my
Exactly.
babies were my social experiments. So it talked about the way babies react to visual stimulation. So it was about large letters in order to stimulate their early reading. Not that
Exactly.
they're reading, but actually we were programming their vision so that they could recognize and be familiar with the shapes and the forms of words. So my question here is, I decided to try this with my adults, and my adult students responded to larger text, larger visuals.
Exactly. Yeah.
So describing visualizing or this technology of visual language, how far do you see the implications of this visual language as it evolves not only in travel, but in other areas of business?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So in this computer vision, even not in the travel, but we see a like lot of things coming in the coming few years. Yeah, not like, and the when I talking about the second part, the third part, which is like more interesting, is like the because once we have the language understanding from the machines, and the second we have the visual understanding from the machines. Now they are becoming more powerful to understand most of the things. And now comes the third stage where we have the space data. So now you are like totally in a different zone. So now from space images, space radar data, I can like look into any areas, I can see any kind of detail there. And if you like, I forgot the name of that book, but it's like called elevated perspective. Yeah. So you see, when you see things from the top, then you see like
Yeah.
a lot more compared to from the down, yeah, or from the vertical, like horizontal view, yeah. So you see like
Yeah.
machines, we have the space data, we have the computer vision, then they can see very clearly what happening in that region and
It's
lot more
expanding our viewpoint. Instead
exactly
of
the
a
viewpoint, yeah.
singular little point on a leaf, it's giving us a larger, wider panoramic view of the situation.
Exactly. So that way you can solve like a lot of problems, yeah. So like deforestation is happening or not. So now you have to go into a forest, check many things in a horizontal way, and it's take a lot of resources. But once your computer vision and the satellite data is ready, you just need one click, yeah. What is happening in that forest, yeah? You just check it. You just check it like, okay, somebody is claiming, okay, the government agencies or maybe NGOs, okay, we are developing something in this area. Are they developing or not? So right now there is no monitoring, there is no like kind
Right.
of tracking. But once you have a space data, once you have a computer vision model, you don't have to do anything. Machines can do easily tracking what happened in the last 6 months in this region. Yeah,
Now, this is where we enter into the ethical discussion of monitoring. I mean, how far is monitoring supervision, and when does it become an invasion of privacy? So, like some countries, when they're talking about domain or the elements of policy, like one country may have the technology. Dr. Paul Romer, I think, was the one who talked about the concept of smart cities, being able to have collaboration between countries. And he thought that if one country was under resourced, or maybe they had different resources, and one country had technology, another had space, that they could probably exchange or find ways that they could use their resources collectively or by creating a space for people to come and say, okay, I'm going to give India this territory, kind of like an embassy, but actually they
yeah,
would have more rights to develop under the laws and the ways in which India would operate so that you could develop in a space, even though it's in a different country. So, for example, Honduras has a lot of undeveloped land. There's a lot of undeveloped land. And we're in regenerative. We're talking about regeneration. So we want to conserve the land. So the question is, the position, the geographic position of Honduras is also a bridge between north and south, and it has deep water harbors. So brings into light the political implications of having monitoring systems. How is technology handling these ethical arguments between monitoring, supervision, and autonomy?
Yeah, exactly. So that is like, but I think in my perspective, that is nothing like nothing much related to the technology. It's more related to the human perspective and the local level and the government organizations. Because technology is something that we can like definitely put a checkpoint, like where
Mm.
to go or where shouldn't go beyond that point. So in this particular area, technology is not a big challenge for us. The big challenge is for the humans, like we humans, like how we control the scenarios, like greed of the humans. If you gave somebody, they want to go grow more or something. So here is like the technology is not a challenge. The challenge is the human beings itself. Yeah.
How
So
they use it. Definitely.
exactly. So
Okay,
this is like
so
the biggest challenge for us. Yeah, right now.
so tell us a little bit about Velout. What is Velout? And you are a co-founder together with Theodora. What is Velout, and how did it come about? The idea of it.
So the what right now we are doing it the well out is exactly something is like the first thought in our mind was like the connecting the people, yeah. So connecting the like-minded people around the world for the travel purposes. So that is our like the
It's
first
like
thought.
community building.
Yeah, community building exactly. And then like we thought like okay, once we have a kind of community which is more based on traveling needs, we connect them together, and now our second stage is to promote the like the sustainable regenerative travel around them. So that means like if somebody is going to some cities, so our algorithms, our AI algorithm, what we will do, they will find out all the sustainable options from different means. As I said to you, we can checkpoint different criterias how we can do it, and most of the things are done by the machines, and then we promote them more compared to normal to give them the options. So okay, so right now the problem is like all this task is done by the communities, but at the technological stack nobody is like pushing them like on the top of the other travel partners. So that's we want to do it like if there is a small community, they are building something new and something great for the eco and all this stuff, and then our task is to promote them using the AI. Somehow we can just figure it out all these kind of things and promote them more in our platform. So that's what we want to do it. Yeah,
Generally, with sustainable projects and stuff like that, we tend to run into the issues of budget. It generally tends to be, how do we finance this? How do we get funding for this? How do we? So, like, is there a cost for the sustainable projects, or is the app part of its purpose is to project the sustainable options and make them available to everyone?
exactly. So in the well out, definitely we are not doing in that part, the finance part of the sustainability. And definitely, I think from the technological perspective, it's also difficult. So what we are doing it from our job is to promote them as much as possible and like matching them in a right manner. So if I am like a traveler, even I want to pay a little bit more if there is a sustainable options for me, and I have that kind of feeling that okay, I am not destroying the nature. So I just want to get a full like kind of a feeling, positive feeling after my travel. So that's why so these kind of people we are connecting them and the promoting them the sustainable options,
How are
because that
you
way we do viral.
identifying? How are you identifying the sustainable options? How are you investigating or identifying? Is this like with your relationship with tour operators or with different elements? How are you identifying the sustainable? How are you confirming the sustainability of the options?
So definitely, so in that part, like if there are some checks, so definitely it's not that easy to do it. And right now we are also a small startup, but we already have a pipeline, like over the time how we grow and how we can make them the checkpoint that this is the sustainable not. So let's say if somebody is partnering us, like any kind of the providers, so they are saying that okay, we are providing this and that, then in our algorithms we can search about all the options, the matching that they are whatever they are claiming is makes sense or not. Other things, we have the mechanism to track and that's why I'm like taking this third options to track from the space data. Yeah. So if somebody is saying that, oh, okay, we have a sustainable hotel and we have like sustainable energy, we have the processing plant for the, and then this kind of location with the latitude longitude, we can easily track that they are true or not from the space
Wow.
data. So that's that kind of things we just want to build something that the tracking is and kind of like the trustworthy is there. Yeah, the
To
trust is
build
there.
aha, to build the trust, because I think that is
Exactly.
something in building community that destroys community when the trust is broken.
Exactly.
You we can do so much work to build the trust, and then in one incident it can really, impact how people react. So tell me about Belú Travel. How is Velout helping, or Belú Travel, I imagine, is like part of the creation part of
Exactly. Yeah.
the sustainable options.
Yeah. So in the Belú Travel, like what we are trying to do it, we are making the platform so where we are directly offering the only the sustainable options, and that we will go definitely by the community and different mechanism to just check that what kind of offer is already there, and how we can accommodate, like how to collaborate with the local DMCs, and that will in that area definitely we will go little slow. So there is the challenge. So we know the technology to scale. So definitely I'm in the technology. We know like how to take from 1 million to 10 million people. But in these areas we don't want that. So fast, yeah, because still we have to build a trust, still we have to build a whole pipeline that how we can accommodate more and more people. So definitely in the Belú Travel, first part is like mostly the things are done on the trust basis. Yeah. So we have a mechanism where we go to the DMC and we cross check them, talk with them, and assess their sustainability efforts, and then we can take them into our platform. So in
So
this
can
early
this
stage, we want to do it fast.
evolve into a certification program? I mean, will this lead into some sort of certification program for future travel agencies, for future
Definitely, yeah.
authors of experiences?
That would be also possible, yeah. And then you can also track the different people's like the carbon footprint and all these things about this trip. So these are things are possible from the technological side of it. So we can track it, like how much they are just offering it, yeah.
Okay. So dear Vienna has put something on the screen for us. What are we looking at? We have
So it's just showing like how this location based and all these things you are offering the sustainable options. So here definitely it's a you can see around it. But the most important part here is to we should have a options to partner with the DMCs, which is already have reach a little bit more effort in this sustainable options, yeah, kind of things. And then definitely, as you mentioned, kind of certification. Even I think like the Google is also providing that. So Google certified like hotels, they also checking from technological perspective from their side. So sometime when
I
you
remember years ago, Google has like they ask you if you wanted to be part of like uploading your pictures when you travel.
exactly. So
So
they are
right.
also doing some sort of this kind of things, and definitely they will come a lot more like kind of certification. And as I say, like maybe the government agencies, other people tracking that this certification is also easier with the technology. Yeah. So like if somebody applies, so let's say what is the procedure? So somebody says, oh, I am sustainable. Yeah, my hotel is sustainable. We are using the solar panel, we are using the wind, we are using this plant and that. And now the technology can help to verify these claims. Yeah.
Wow.
Are they really sustainable? Yeah.
So
Are they using
there is more positivity in the application, the responsible application and use of technology to
exactly.
help improve this process of helping track things, especially when here we have again on screen. What can you tell us about what we're seeing on screen?
Exactly. So here is like I think Vienna is presenting something like about this value travel. So where we like we thought of like for every trip we can have like this CO2 emission and all kind of parameter in that part after talking with calculating with all these things, so that the user can take a decision that what they are contributing into the society, something like that. Also like how when you travel what happening to the local communities, yeah, so how you are contributing to the local communities, just using this trip. Yeah, so some these kind of things you can motivate them to go into more kind of positive part. Yeah,
So then what you guys are talking about, from what I gather, let me see if I understand this. You guys are talking about literally changing the behavior, or helping people become more conscious
exactly.
travelers by using the way that the technology is, because while you're using it, you're becoming aware of, my goodness, am I compensating? What am I doing here? How am I using this? Am I carrying my own water bottle or not? Or the ways in which I can identify. Um, wow. So we're seeing that by using the technology, we could actually have individuals, by providing the right kind of content,
Exactly.
help
Yeah.
shape how they're thinking. Because I definitely, as an educator, I believe in I've used the neurolinguistics of my classes. I recognized, in order to get results from my students, they needed to move their hands, because I realized that the decision making process from the brain to the hands, it was really like it was like the most technological tool, in terms of, if I need to bend my fingers, move my hands, because I kind of thought about the science of robotics, and how many things, well, like when you mentioned that AI could not distinguish the difference between a cat or a dog, or it has four legs, two ears, and eyes, but details were missing. You needed more data in order to separate the two. So
Exactly.
I found that if I could get my students to physically, kinetically be involved in the decision making process, consciously aware, they would make better choices. It would
Exactly.
improve their efficiency in terms of language. So, what you guys are demonstrating, the technology you're applying to travel, the potential is to literally help become more efficient with the choices we make when we're traveling.
Exactly, right? Definitely, that should be there in the coming years, because definitely, as I mentioned to you, because now we are more cautious, and the younger generation is like more compared to the older one, and so we don't want to create that kind of guilt for them, so that okay, they are traveling, they are destroying the nature. So you see, like when you create the positivity out of it, that when you are traveling, you are not destroying the nature. You are like improving your perspective, but also you are supporting the local communities. You are supporting the nature. So somehow everybody is get benefited out of this way. Yeah,
So,
it's
it's
not for
purposeful traveling.
exactly. Yeah, this is purposeful, and it should be like that. Yeah, that
Yes, I
if you are
agree
going to
100%.
somebody's place, they should also get benefit out of it in a positive way. Yeah, so that is always
Yeah. And I think that was something that I've worked on different kinds of, I've collaborated with different kinds of projects, especially in entrepreneurship. And one of the biggest issues that always happens on the table is that you will have the middle person or the connector that's making money, but it's not getting back to the communities. The
exactly. Yeah,
communities are what are normally suffering. You're getting the raw material, you're getting the talent, you're getting excellent artisanship, but the actual pricing, by the time it goes through the process of who's transporting it and the licenses and everything to the traveler, the actual community is not benefiting from that pipeline.
exactly.
And I think what I have been seeing and what I have been learning through the summit is that everyone is demonstrating we can make an accessible pipeline where it starts in the community,
Exactly.
starts in the community, think of the community, spend in the community, monitor this way of being able, community first and shared prosperity. I think these are the two major takeaways in the that from everyone that I have been listening to here on Leg. So I want to invite Vienna to join us on screen, so you guys can talk about, how you guys met, and how did technology and a sustainable, a conscious traveler, what happened, when did that relationship occur, and how did it turn into the Regenera Travel Summit? So the clash of purpose, the confluence of purpose, I say. What happened, Vienna? How did you meet Bhupendra?
Oh, I met Bhupendra through Theodora.
Okay, so you
Yes,
met Theodora
yeah,
first.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So my most of the my network is Theodora, yeah. Because I am the guy I like mostly work on my computer and usually never go out, yeah, most of the time.
So the question would be, how did you meet Theodora? Bhupendra, how did you
That's
meet
a good
Theodora?
question.
And then we'll go back. So how did you meet Theodora?
Exactly. So, like after my PhD, I worked for a startup, and then I was like thinking to do by myself because I know the technological stuff, but definitely the business perspective was not there. And then I am just looking for some kind of contact, and there was in Stuttgart, Germany, there was an event, and me and Theodora was there, and then we just talk about it, and then we decided, okay, let's do it together, something like that, and then we definitely all other meetings and like we plan to
Everything
do it
else
together,
just
yeah, and fall into place, yeah.
the
Yeah.
power of connecting. I mean, we have talked about that. We've talked about the quality of individuals that Viana has met through her networking and how that has led, like each of us brings, different networks of individuals that we've worked with. So when we talk about, I mean, you mentioned building trust in community through technology. And I think in networking, as we meet each other, we're trusting each other's networks, we're trusting the people and the professionals that we meet. So it's like extensions of different ways to build that trust and build that community. And really, we've been very impressed with the work and the commitment, the purposefulness of the individuals who have committed to this project, that have committed to it online, that they are committed to regenerative living, regenerative travel. And yesterday we had an amazing talk where it led me down the rabbit hole of investigating the indicators in terms of economic movers. And truly, I did not understand until yesterday how powerful tourism is as a promoter of economic growth. So, travel, I don't know why, you think of the hierarchy of things that add to business, if done well and responsibly, like Velout and Belú are promoting, can really impact growth. And I don't understand why that is something that does not transmit or come across, as opposed to the superficial idea, hi, welcome to my country, just like basic tourist guides and
Exactly.
adventurers, only adventurers. It's a very limited perspective. And maybe Vienna, you could share a little bit about the power of tourism to transform a community, because Bhupendra and they definitely are about growing a responsible community of travel. I think
Yeah.
that's what I get
Growth.
from it. The
Exactly.
responsible growth, technology can help us with that. And
Exactly.
Vienna,
Yes.
the power of tourism to transform a nation.
Yes, first of all, I just want to say that Bhupendra was an answer to my prayers to God, because I was asking God for someone who knew about tech, because I'm not really a tech person. I'm in the startup industry, but I'm more the one that is on the field. No, I like to be more with the community, with the people, networking. And I use the computer basically for emails, for meetings, for some, yeah, like this stuff. I'm a marketer. I'm not even a tech. I didn't study development. So yeah, I'm very grateful with Bhupendra, with Theodora, that connected me with Bhupendra, and I really love working with them as well. First I met Theodora because I was invited to a round table from a German in Germany, but it was online for like a marketing roundtable for startups. And there, Theodora presented Velout, and she presented it very well. And I loved it. I loved the idea. I registered to the website. In the website, you can enter your email and subscribe. So I subscribed, and I was just following her. And then, like sometime later, I added her to LinkedIn and sent her a message. And because I also entered a WhatsApp group she has about the Velout community. We're very similar in many ways. So I was there, and then I was seeing her updates, and then I saw she launched the app, no, because when she presented the idea, it was just an idea. They didn't have an app or anything. So then she launched the app. I downloaded. I loved it. It was very user friendly, and I have it. And I recommend you also to download the app, by the way, because it's very cool. It's very nice. And well, then we said, hey, we should have a meeting. So we had a meeting first, and we were talking. We had a lot of synergy, and then she told me, oh, we should meet with my co-founder, my tech co-founder. And then yeah, so then she organized a meeting with Bhupendra, but Bhupendra was very shy that day. He didn't speak much. And but then we started like talking, and yeah, he started with many ideas of the Belú Travel platform. He said like, oh, I know a very good designer that can help us, design the platform I showed you in Figma. And what do you need? And wow, Bhupendra is amazing. Like how he asks me to deliver the work. No, he's very clear. He's like, okay, make a document, and then put all the ideas of how you want the platform, put the screenshots, and do this, do that, and then from these ideas we will create the Belú Travel platform. And I love working with him because he's so organized and so on. And the same thing, he developed the Regenera Travel website. We have the website thanks to Bhupendra. He did it super fast, like in record time. And he said the same. He was like, okay, give me some ideas of how you want the website, and then we'll develop it. So
I have a
oh,
question for Bhupendra based on what Diana is describing. Bhupendra, that behavior, since you went all the way to your doctorate, you've studied, it's your life's work, working in organizing information to build. Do you think that contributes to your level of organization, or were you always organized? Because we're talking about the behavior pattern that transforms while you're organizing, because to communicate with the program, you have to give very specific instructions. So does that in a way form part of who you are, do you think, or were you always organized?
No, it's like the organizing part is definitely, but especially in the technological domain, yeah. So especially when come to the technical part, so definitely I was, when I was in India, definitely a little bit better, always a bright student. But when I came here in Germany, so then my professor was like really strict, yeah. So he always like pinpoint everything very technically, yeah. So okay, you want this, okay, you want this, how? And then you ask like so many things to yourself, then you get more clarity about it. So I definitely am a lot of thankful for my professor here. So he taught me a lot more things. And previously, like initially I thought like, why this guy is like a little bit crazy, yeah? Why we need for a small thing so much effort here and there. And then you over the time realize that it will make like things more clear to your mind, and especially when it come to the technological development part, yeah. So you need like, always we have very superficial things, and then you always need like, okay, how I want it, what I want it here and here, and then you connect the dots, and then you can start building something out of it, yeah. So it's always
Thank
helpful
you.
he's
in that way.
brilliant. He's brilliant.
I
Like
think it's a social
wow.
scientist in me that wanted to know, like, how far does our behavior go? So continue. I think the question to you, Vienna, we were asking before was, now that we know how you met Theodora and Bhupendra, it's about tourism as
Oh,
a marker for economic growth. I mean,
oh,
that was
definitely,
something
definitely.
that I've been looking at the numbers
Yes.
online and the research, and I mean, I don't understand why this sort of information is more people are not aware. So
Mhm.
for me, it was a surprise.
Definitely.
I think that I would say that I had the superficial version of the impact of tourism, but I did not realize the true potential of travel as an economic growth promoter.
Oh, it is. And definitely, if it's well done, It's a great way of social development, of prosperity, of preserving and helping people feel proud of their culture, their traditions. It is a way to restore nature, to protect nature, to like Costa Rica has done, no? That Costa Rica, you see how green it is, how protected and everything, because through tourism, because that's what their first income, no? So they really care about having everything clean, about not throwing trash, about having the jungles, amazing. So and I have seen it, like for example, with my hostel project in Armenta. It was when I founded this hostel in a rural community here in San Pedro Sula. This was like the most dangerous community in San Pedro Sula, and San Pedro Sula was the most dangerous city in the world that was not in war. It was the murder capital of the world.
Yes, yes. When
so
I came to live
so
here, it was I mean, I come from the island of Trinidad and Tobago, and it was curious that Trinidad and Tobago was in the top 10 list because of the gang wars, and then Honduras was in the top three. So it's like, did I move to better, or did I move into like a situation that was even more? So yeah, that was its reputation 25 years ago, and very sadly, it's a reputation that has persisted.
Yes, but the thing is that when I founded the wanted to found a hostel there, because it's basically like a rural community, but it's very beautiful. It was
Very.
agricultural. People grow like corn and all types of
The river,
vegetables.
the river.
There's rivers, like it's a fountain of water for the city. It's where the water comes, because there's so many waterfalls, rivers, and so much water coming from the mountain, because it's right on the, how do you say, skirts of the mountain range of
The
the
foothills
Merendon.
of the range, of the Merendon
Yeah.
range.
So you can go hiking, like there in the community. There's you can go hiking, and then you see waterfall after waterfall, and it's really beautiful. It's so I saw the potential, no? And when I wanted to found the hostel, everyone was like, "Oh, you're crazy," the people from Honduras. "You're crazy, that's never gonna work there. You're gonna have to have a guard 24 hours. The numbers are not gonna give, and no one's gonna go there, because it's so dangerous, and the gangsters." And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try it anyway." And I tried it, and then it was the hostel number one in TripAdvisor. And they would send me like these recognitions from TripAdvisor of eco leaders, green leaders, sustainable leaders, blah blah blah. They would send them to the middle of nowhere, because we didn't have even an address. The address was like at the end of the main road of Armenta. That was my address. And the people from DHL would deliver the recognitions from TripAdvisor, and the stickers and everything, so that we can put it, because it was a number one hostel. And we had travelers from China, India, Russia, Norway, Denmark, USA, Canada, South America, Central America, of course. But it was like I met people from all over the world, Australia, and many became friends. So I still have them. That's why I have like 3,000 people on Facebook. So because and then I also was like giving them tours, because I was like, they asked me, "La, could you take me to Copan?" I was, "Yeah, of course." So then I started working as a tour operator, because like to offer an additional service. So that's when I basically started to get more into tourism, and saw how it could become a business, no? How it really helped, not just me, but also the community, because when the backpackers came, they would maybe hire someone local to take them to the waterfalls, to the ponds. They would buy locally food, the pastelitos, the perro from the fried chicken from the neighbor. So the people were very happy because we were bringing economy to the community, and it transformed the perception of the community. Like people stopped seeing Armenta as a dangerous community, and they were like, oh, that's where the hostel is. That's where the hostel is. Oh, that's where the eco hostel is. And it transformed. And then even to my neighbor, a U.S. missionary bought her a land because she loved it so much that she even they even bought properties, like people like missionaries, and they bought land there to make churches, to make projects for the community. So now it has developed a lot and the community has prospered a lot, just with having that hostel there that was for backpackers. And well, that's one example, no? The other example I have seen, for example, is in a community in Santa Barbara that there are micro producers of specialty coffee, and there's this guy Benjamin that he loves to help the community, and he connects them with foreign buyers. This is more like business tourism, kind of, because he brings buyers from all over the world, from Europe, from the North America, and everything, brings them to the community so that they can meet the producer because they have small lots, and they buy directly to the producer, and they buy them and he helps them, give them like the technical support so the quality of the coffee is better. So they have won, even like the last years, they always win the first, second, and third position in the coffee of excellence in Honduras. It's like a concurso, ¿cómo se dice?
It's a competition. Vienna, before you continue, I want to touch on a question there because I have a question for Bhupendra based on what it is it's been like going through in my mind. Vienna mentioned just now business tourism, the coffee buyer meeting with the community. In the Velout app that you guys are developing, you mentioned connecting like-minded people, and we talked about sustainable travel and building that conscious traveler. So my mind went to I work with a project that's at the United Nations. Have you guys taken Vel out or even like discussed it within the whole idea of the United Nations model? Because when Vienna's talk, just go with where my brain was going because I was seeing Vel out. You talk about connecting communities and conscious traveling. And what Vienna's mentioning about a person who's interested in business and they're coming and they're traveling, and then they see an opportunity like coffee or chocolate or any produce that's there. Velout has an arm for that kind of, I mean, is it building subgroups within the Velout app? So, like
Yeah,
persons who want to travel for benchmarking, persons who want to travel for family or recreation, those who want to travel for sustainable options. So, have you tied the Velout options to the sustainable development goals? Like to the one, the three, or the two, or is it connected? Because I know at the UN, they foster a lot of collaborations between NGOs, private sector, etc. And somehow or the other, if you have an app that's actually getting to people around the world and saying, hey, hello. So if I'm in Honduras, but I have an NGO, you're a private sector and you're in Germany, but maybe we can work together. Is that something that can happen through Velout?
yeah, definitely. So right now, definitely because it's like need a lot of kind of experiment to test like how this matching is going really great. But definitely that
Mm-hmm.
is in our plan. So somehow, so first part is like solving this human connection and the kind of the good part of the travel. But definitely, as you mentioned, like how we can connect the travel. So even if you are traveling for the business purpose, still is a travel, yeah. So you are going
So
for
Yeah.
business.
yeah,
So
so
it's,
for example, like later, no, another line would be like something, do it like for example, like that, like Velout could connect like people that want to buy coffee in Central America or in Honduras to the local coffee producers,
exactly,
no?
yeah. So still
That
it's a
would be
travel.
very
This
cool.
is the purpose, yeah. So definitely, but to reach that point, definitely we have to make it more like a kind of a, because here sometime in this all these connections, you have this network effect problem. Yeah, so you have a guy from the business background, but you don't have the communities there, so you need a little bit more data to connect them in a right manner, and that we want to solve it definitely step by step. First connecting the humans only for the traveling purpose with some specification like sustainability and all these things, and definitely you can, because algorithms are ready, you can deploy them for the business purpose, for the other purpose, doesn't matter at all. Yeah,
Bhupendra, how does data mining contribute to the information that you need to build your platforms? Because with a friend, we had been discussing options like for young people, like for 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, or even 15-year-olds. They have cameras, they have smartphones, they have access to technology. Then we know that there's an industry of data mining. Can young people collect data and send data to a data bank where they can actually earn? Is there the possibility in this world of data mining where they can collect, because you're talking about visuals, the need for more information to feed into you transform the language after. Is
exactly.
there a place, because in countries like Honduras where we know that the World Wide Web is a whole world of opportunities,
Exactly.
are there opportunities that we can actually teach younger people how to get involved at that layer of the business so that they could actually think of staying in their country, be conscious travelers, travel wherever, but as they go collecting data, they supply that data somewhere? Is that is that an actual possibility?
Yeah, that's I think that's like the really a nice way to, when what you think like that, what we humans. Yeah, so definitely the technology is one part. The biggest challenge is to handle the human being. Yeah, technology is definitely there. So what will happen when you involve them in a process, then they also feel like kind of part of it. Yeah, so definitely you can like take the data from them, even they will give you happily that task they will do. Thus, with the help of technology, you have to create that belongings, that okay, for the younger generation we are helping by doing this work to the nature, and then once you connect them in this way, then definitely they will do happily that come that work, and then you definitely get the lot of data and you can easily process it. So definitely you can make like
Where
any kind
would
of
they,
example of it. Yeah,
how would we broker that data? Because that's for me is where my disconnect or my lack of knowledge is at. So like if I have a group of of youth leaders, and we want to help them contemplate that they could become conscious travelers, or they can be suppliers of data. Would it, do we have to, like, if as a project of Belu, part of their social project, create like a data bank that we could, we're contemplating a project of environmental ambassadors of Belu, so that they can, it's like finding a way that they can earn, but in a safe way, where they can, I don't know what that would look like, but like how would we get that information to someone like you who's a developer? How do we connect the
definitely.
content
That is
to the
definitely
developer?
exactly. So that in that way, we just have to define our goal, yeah, objectives. So let's say, just in given an example. So let's say as a community, as any particular region, they won't have like there may be a lot of like lot of chaos, or that the beaches are not clean, okay, and then you just have like a community support or something for the new travelers, that okay, if somebody find any kind of dirt, any kind of like these things, plastic and everything, you just make a picture and then you just send it to there. Yeah, so that way you can even monitor, and then you can collect a lot of data, where is the problem, and then you can guide the communities to solve this problem by using this way. Yeah, and over the time you can just learn about it, and what will happen after some time, that most of that region is clean. Yeah, because people are reporting, people are going to clean it and doing it, and it's a human nature, so after some time it will automatically become clean. Yeah, because you see something clean, then you don't throw it. If something is not clean, then you throw more. Yeah? So it's a human nature, something like that. So you can track it, you can get the data, track it, and then make the, like, you solve the problem. So any kind of problem, whatever is the forest related problem, whatever is the nature related, water contamination, any kind of thing, you can like report it, and then somebody responsible can take the action accordingly. Yeah, and then vice versa. You can
Exactly.
correct it. Yeah.
Because if we don't know the problem, how are we gonna solve it? So the first the
Yeah, that's
first
my.
yeah the first
You
thing is
give me the
awareness,
problem.
no?
You give me the problem, and then we can
We
solve
have
from
to
the technical.
recognize. If, yeah, like when we sin, in order for God to forgive us, first we have to recognize, no, we have done some sin, because if not, yeah, it's so the thing is, Susan was telling you this because Bhupendra, I will explain you here in Honduras. There's this sadly there's a lot of people that steals the eggs from the turtles, from the beach turtles. They
Okay.
steal the eggs and they sell them, and they put them like in plastic cups, and they put like lemon and soy sauce, like they prepare them, and they eat them. Like I have never eaten, I have never tried. I think it's disgusting, but especially they say that it's aphrodisiac for men, and they say a lot of things. But the
Yeah,
Dr.
it's
Mantur,
kind of
the
misconception. Yeah, there are a lot
yeah,
of like anything kind
yeah,
you can
but
relate it.
yeah, but the veterinary said that's not true. It even has too many cholesterol, and it's not even good for your health. So, well, the thing is that Susan had a great idea, because she said a way to regenerate these people that are causing big damage to the ecosystem, no, it would be that because they do it for as a way of living, no. So instead of them selling these eggs, we could see how we inspire them to become ambassadors of the ecosystem, and even make experiences to liberate turtles, to protect turtles, no, to be like protectors of the turtles. So I love this idea. I was like, wow, that's a perfect example of regeneration, because you're helping someone that is doing something really bad, to basically change the mindset and everything, and now be a tool, an agent of positive, change for the place of protection of so I think it's a brilliant idea. So we have an idea to make this program of turtle rescuers, ambassadors, no, so that and we invite people, no, to think about ideas like this, where we can change the negative to positive, no, and think always on the
And
benefit
not just
of the
accuse the people, because I don't want, and I always want to say this when we mention this issue, we do not want to point fingers or criminalize anyone. It's
Agree.
just that you guys are talking about awareness, and I believe it has a lot to do with awareness and survival. These individuals don't understand that they could have a different option. And what you guys are talking about, regenerative tourism, conscious traveling, people wanting data, and you connecting people to sustainable projects, they are not aware. They're not aware. Their lifestyle doesn't allow them to have access to this information. So we want to reiterate that our intention is to help them transform their community, transform their earning, from something that was hurting. And I think regenerative says that do less harm. I don't remember if it was Caitlin or if it was Marco and Victoria that mentioned it, but it's like living the philosophy of do less harm and do more good in terms of that. So, I don't want people to like accuse these because they're very humble individuals, and you see them and you understand that it's their livelihood. But we would love to have the opportunity to find a way that if we can help them with technology to be able to transform their situation, how can we do that? So I love the fact that you guys with Velout are connecting people and sustainable projects, and how can, for maybe turtle rescuers in Australia, could come and do a certification program with the individuals here. I mean, maybe through Velout, these kinds of ideas, which is what made me think of the United Nations. And they're doing it on when they have events, but maybe Velout and Regenera can really expand that element of hey, these are the different kinds of sustainable development goals, and these are the groups or communities that are interested in them, and we can actually do projects in different parts of the world. Because in the end of it all, funding, it always comes down to funding. Funding is the number one issue. People don't want
Exactly.
to put money into something where they don't feel connected or passionate about the project. And not everyone is going to be passionate about the same thing. So it's like finding your tribe, finding people who are like minded, which comes back. And I guess I can understand your professors asking all those questions to get to like what exactly is the real issue about
Exactly. Yeah.
identifying the goal behind it.
Like as you mentioned, like he's always insists like objective. Yeah, your objective should be very much clear. So when we design the algorithm, we will first thought like what is the objective behind it, what we want to achieve out of it. And as you also mentioned, so sometimes we see things from the different perspective. So as you gave this guy's example that whatever they are doing, so if you try to understand them, what is their objective? So there is like two objective, maybe getting the money out of it. So if you decide that okay, they are doing just for money or something else is there, then you can give them the alternative options. Yeah, okay guys, you are just doing for the money, you have the other options, so they can easily switch it. Yeah, so first we have to understand people, because there is no right and wrong in anything, just how people getting it. Yeah, they did it, maybe they're like old generation did it, they don't know other options. So we as like educate them and we can find out the objective, like why they are doing it and what is the alternative of this. They can even earn the money without doing this stuff. There are other alternative also, maybe they don't know about it. Yeah, so it's always like that, there is nothing wrong and right, the always the alternative options are always there. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And in my mind's eye, my brain is running behind all the different things that we can do because before Regenera, I've seen it. I had an instinct about it. I watched it and I thought, well, like, what can you do? But in the sea of, generally, you would see this in the large stadiums. It's a delicacy that goes with the football games. So when you're in a sea of highly aggressive fans about one thing, it's not a place where you're like, hey, let's save the turtles. It's not exactly the right place to bring up that that conversation. So you see it, but then you walk away from the stadium and the idea, it goes away because you don't see these people again, because you're not seeing them on the streets, you're not seeing them in that particular place. So I recognize the places where I have seen issues and not known what to do about it, or not have a pipeline to follow. And I think by joining the Regenera Travel Summit team, um, it has given me a place where those issues or those things that bother me, I can lend my services, I can lend my skill set to help, whichever way we can. In the same way you guys came together and you're building your app, and Belú Travel is converting into a creator of experiences for different people in different places. Um, the power of technology, and I know that a lot of people have their reservations. Bhupendra, one question might be a little polemic, but one question about the use of technology and AI. There are statistics coming out that is talking about that we need to be more conscientious about our use of AI, because it takes a lot of resources for the AI models to be operating continuously. Can you share a little bit about your position with that? And because as more models come out and more people want to use them, but then we have the compensation aspect of it, like how can I responsibly use AI to travel? I think that would be it. How can I responsibly use AI to travel and not feel guilty because I want to use AI, but then I have to be concerned about, is it doing more harm than good? That balance, that argument.
Yeah, definitely. So that point is there, like the consumption, and so that we have to define. Like, but still, like let's say, so before AI, so if I want to do like let's say the trip planning and everything, still I have to use the internet. Yeah. So maybe
Hmm.
in that scenario, I am using like 3 to 4 hours. Yeah, searching for all the options. Still, the Google was there, and people are searching, doing all this stuff. Now the things little bit become more speed up, so you will get a lot of information very quickly. But the other thing is around like definitely I always support the human common sense. So that should be there. So we shouldn't ask like all the small things there. So there should be like, definitely you get a picture, big picture, and then you have the more powerful brain within you. So use that more. But definitely you don't have information, so you can collect a lot of information from AI, but still you have a powerful machine within you. So that common, with the common sense, good common sense, so you can use it and use it in a that way, so that is more useful for everybody. Yeah. So like from this example,
Exactly.
so when we have this neural network, when we train the language models and all these things, so like the biggest is like, I think we have similarly like even the biggest AI model, and we have more neurons from that parameters. Even if we have it maybe trillions, something like that, and even we have the non-linear ones. So you see that the power of human mind, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
even the biggest AI model can't compete in terms of like the knowledge and everything. So we shouldn't be like in that, like the back foot, yeah. We can get the information, but we have the most powerful machine within us. So we can
Yeah.
always use that a lot. Yeah.
Good one. I love
100%.
it.
I always talk to my students about the fact that, it's about how we use the tool and being conscientious about it. Because when I heard that, I was, and I remember someone telling me that, you're in the regenerative world now, so you have to be conscientious. And I'm thinking, well, what are the messages that we're confusing people too? Because we want to talk about technology and advancement, but we want to do it responsibly. And then you have those that are shouting and saying, well, you can't, no, let's. So it's like all the information is coming out through the summit for people to make wiser, like you said, use the sense that we have to
Yeah,
make better decisions. And the more information we have, the more informed decisions we can make.
exactly.
100%. I agree with that. And Viana, Bhupendra, I don't know if you guys would like to add anything before we close our presentation, if you'd like to say anything.
Yes, yes. Well, I invite everyone to register to sign up for free to regeneratravel.com, to our members area. So what we want to do basically with Regenera Travel, or what we're starting, because this is just the start, we're developing like a platform, a community, where like it's like-minded people, the best. Like I'm so blessed. I feel so blessed to be surrounded by so many experts that I admire, no, and that, wow, when I have a question about technology, I go to Bhupendra, he solves. When I have when I need something, Susan solves also. Like when I need something about visual branding content, I go to John solves, super fast. I never ask for changes. Like, I don't know, God has blessed me with putting in my life such amazing people that have so much talent. Like, I feel very grateful and blessed for that. And I think I also want to share this with other people that really want to make a change in the world. We're scouting like people that want to make a positive change, that want to disrupt, that want to use tech for good. So that's our
Yeah.
invitation. That's our invitation to join our members area. You can join for free. We are also developing like the plans, the membership plans that are gonna bring extra benefits. They're gonna soon be updated on the website. That's Bhupendra's work. But sorry, I always put him so much work. But well, you will see the memberships plans that we have been working on the website. So we have the community membership, the business membership, the corporate membership. So depending on if you're a student, if you're a business, a tour operator, a DMC, or if you're a big corporation that wants to become more regenerative or implement regenerative tours or regenerative principles, or see or connect with other stakeholders in the industry, with investors that are focused on sustainable investing. And also we are trying to develop like an idea lab and working groups. And our next our next like how do you say, uh
Phase or step?
Yeah, our next phase is to develop KPIs as well to measure, because we want to measure how much value we are either subtracting to our environment, to our destination, to our communities. We want to know if we're sustaining, or we want to know if we are adding value. No, if we are adding value through our products, through our services, and we want to measure how much also, because I think it's important. We go back to that. In order to improve, in order to fix something, we need to know, have awareness, know of our situation, our current situation, where we are, and then we can think on how to improve and how to change things. No, so that is what we are working on, and I invite you to join our membership plans. If you don't have right now, well, the capacity to purchase a membership plan, no problem. We offer you the possibility to join our members area for free, and you'll be receiving free information, very valuable content that we are sharing through our through email and through our all our social media platforms and through Substack. So we basically want to share knowledge. We want to educate. We want to inspire. We want to connect. Like Bhupendra says, we are not doing this for money. We are doing this because we want people to learn how to use travel for sustainable development, to reduce emissions, to
Okay, so I think Vienna seems to have gotten frozen. Maybe the electricity might have gone from her region, because her internet seems to be on hold. So, Bhupendra, is there any last minute thing that you would like to share about Velout, or do you do consulting apart from this, or anything that you'd like to share with our audience?
Yeah, definitely. So, like, my purpose is like how I can help. Definitely. So, money is always not like the only purpose. So, you only have some kind of purposeful things in your life. So, I always, whenever have something, if let's say for my some efforts, if something is becoming better, then I'm always ready to take that kind of extra steps for that. Yeah. So, it's always like that. And definitely, if anyone have any kind of technological issues, they want to solve something, they want to figure it out, okay, how to do it or something, so it's always welcome. I am always there, so we can discuss it, how you guys can do it, or what are the possible options to do it. Yeah, but I'm
Well,
always there, so any
I
kind of.
think I will take you up on that discussion, because I have a program that's very close to my heart that I have developed in many different ways. I just have not had the technical know-how to do it. My little 11-year-old is learning to code, so I've been kind of waiting for him to learn enough code to be able to transform it. So I'm like, this will be the project that you bring to it. But I built it with the idea in mind. When I originally built it was like to move away from technology to be able to foster the social interaction. But actually, what I am hearing of and what I am seeing a lot of is the more conscientious use of technology to build bridges as opposed to breaking it apart. So I have been I do love this part. I find like the exploration of science and technology development, though I am in the practical use of it, is a part of me that just makes me stand in awe of, the creator of this world. Is because, I mean, like I always say, what are zeros and ones? I mean, we can explain code to the end of the world for me, but it's like zeros and ones, what are they in reality? Or what is Wi-Fi when you think of signals flowing around us? What is that? And to know that an image from Honduras you could send it in milliseconds. And I mean, what exactly is sustaining all of that? If we were to go into those philosophical questions, I don't have any answers, but it's just
It's
amazing.
crazy. Yeah, it's like
What Yes,
amazing.
it's amazing what technology can do, and if we use it responsibly, how much better. So like you said, monitoring, We know that there are so many issues with human trafficking. There are so many things that can benefit from a very particular monitoring system and connecting people, because I think a lot of stuff happens because we don't have enough supervision of what is going on in the world. Children are being lost, people, there's so many issues. So the use of technology in the area of monitoring for responsible supervision, these are the ideas, and connecting like-minded people through the work that you're doing with Velout and the development work that you're doing with service providers like Belú Travel and other agencies. These are the things that Regenera Travel Summit wants to bring people together for. And Vienna, we had seven we had said sorry for, I think we imagine electricity or your computer battery or something like that might have been an issue. I imagined. So we are closing out with
Yes, the
Bhupendra.
electricity.
So
Yes.
we're
Yes,
closing up now.
I imagine.
and and
Perfect.
yeah, so that's
Thank you.
about it. That's a wrap for us. Yeah, in terms of this is part of the Regenera Travel Summit team. The members, the one of the co-founders from Velout, Belú Travel. I hear from Mujeres con Propósito and Theodora, John, and all the other individuals who've come together to make this a reality. Truly, thank you. Thank you very much for helping us bring this to
Yes.
the stage.
Yes,
Thank you.
no, thank you so much, Bhupendra. Also, Bhupendra is a little bit shy. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to convince him, but Teodora helped me convince him. And I know he doesn't really like to be on the public, but I
Yes,
really
they don't
appreciate,
always say like you should market yourself better. Yeah, you never market yourself. So I said it's fine.
Yes, he doesn't like. Yeah, I asked him, "Can you add yourself to the team in the website?" No, he never uploaded his picture, nothing. He doesn't. He
Other
just
it is
likes to
fine.
be
Like
like
I do it
backstage.
for myself. Like whatever I do, so it's fine. If somebody knows or doesn't know, doesn't matter at all. Yeah.
Yes, I know. He doesn't do it for any recognition. He does it because he really wants to help and he's passionate and he has an amazing heart, and I really value that actually from Bhupendra, the quality of person, of human being he is. It's amazing. It's so rare to find people like him, the truth. Well, and Susan too. She's also very like
Well,
Bhupendra. It's funny.
looking at our time, V, because we I think we have another event coming up.
Yep.
Yes.
It's
Sorry, it's because here I was trying to look for the salida, the video to leave, but
okay,
since
for the
yeah,
closing.
yeah,
So
for the
thank you so much,
closing.
guys, for
Thank
like
you
Yes,
very
sharing my
much.
experience with you. And
we
definitely,
leave.
we always can make something better. Yeah, always something better. Yeah.
I love that. We
Yes,
can always
sorry
make something
about
better.
Yeah.
the electricity. Thank you so much, Bhupendra.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
okay. That's
oh, what
okay.
happens?
So,
What happens sometimes here?
well, everyone
Yes,
that's looking at us, we are live and we are, let me see, I think, um, so we have comments from um, that people enjoyed what it is we were talking about. And we do invite you, regeneratravel.com. It's online. And do sign up now, because as we grow closer to our closing date, our content will become private. So while the summit is going on, this is your opportunity to join our members area. So sign up.
found it. Okay, now yes, we can leave. Bye, and thank you
Okay,
so
then.
much.
Bye, everyone.
Like blessings. Ciao.